She woke up that Tuesday morning the same way she had for the past 2 years. Not to the sound of her alarm, not to her husband's voice, not even to her children shuffling past her bedroom door. She woke up to the glow of her phone screen, already buzzing with notifications from people she had never met. Her eyes opened, and within seconds, her fingers were moving, scrolling, replying, smiling at words typed by strangers halfway across the country. Her husband stood in the doorway, a mug of coffee in his hand, watching her. He didn't say anything. He had learned not to. The kids were already downstairs, backpacks half-packed, cereal bowls waiting. But she didn't notice. She was live. Again. Her voice was bright, bubbly, warm for the camera. She answered questions, laughed at comments, thanked her followers for their support. Behind her, the morning moved on without her. This was the last time she would wake up in that house. She just didn't know it yet. Because this wasn't a story about betrayal or infidelity. This was about something quieter, something more common, something that destroyed her life slowly, one video at a time. Hi friends, before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Jamaica? The United States? United Kingdom? Canada? Or African? We'd love to hear from you and what time it's there. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. When does passion turn into obsession? When does sharing your life become more important than living it? How do you lose the people who love you without ever cheating, without ever raising your voice, without ever walking out the door? These are the questions that haunted Sarah's marriage. Not all at once, not loudly, but steadily, like water wearing down stone. She wasn't cruel. She wasn't selfish in the traditional sense. She just stopped being present. And presence, it turns out, is everything. You can be in the same room as someone and still be completely absent. You can tuck your children into bed and never really see them. You can sleep beside your husband every night and lose him entirely. Sarah didn't see it coming. She thought she was building something. A brand, a following, a voice. What she didn't realize was that every like, every comment, every new follower was costing her something far more valuable. Her family was slipping away, and by the time she noticed, it was already too late. 5 years earlier, Sarah was someone else entirely. She worked as a project manager for a mid-sized marketing firm in Denver. She was good at her job, organized, dependable, the kind of person who showed up early and stayed late when deadlines loomed. Her husband, Mark, was a high school history teacher. They met at a friend's barbecue, bonded over terrible jokes and a shared love of hiking, and got married 2 years later. Their life wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. 2 kids followed. A boy named Jacob, then a girl named Lily. Sarah took maternity leave twice, came back both times, and managed to balance work and home with the kind of quiet competence that doesn't get celebrated but keeps everything running. Social media wasn't a big part of her life back then. She had accounts, sure. She posted pictures of the kids on birthdays, shared vacation photos, liked her friends' updates. Normal stuff. Then one afternoon, she posted a video. It was nothing special. Just her talking about juggling work and motherhood, venting a little about the chaos of getting 2 kids ready in the morning. She filmed it on her phone in the kitchen, barely edited it, and hit post without thinking much of it. It blew up. Not viral in the millions of views sense, but enough. Hundreds of comments, shares, messages from other moms saying they felt the same way. Strangers thanking her for being real. It felt good, really good. So she posted another. Then another. Her follower count grew. Slowly at first, then faster. Brands started reaching out. Small collaborations. Free products. A little money here and there. It wasn't life-changing, but it was validation. And validation, especially when it comes from thousands of people, is addictive. She started planning her content. Filming more. Going live during her lunch breaks. Responding to comments late at night. She told herself it was just a hobby. A creative outlet. Something for herself. But hobbies don't wake you up at 5 in the morning. Hobbies don't make you check your phone during dinner. Hobbies don't take over your life. The first crack appeared at work. Sarah had always been reliable, but over the course of a year, that changed. She started missing deadlines. Not by much at first. A day here, a few hours there. Her boss noticed. So did her team. She was distracted during meetings, glancing at her phone, half listening. One morning, she was supposed to lead a presentation for a major client. She had prepared, or at least she thought she had. But the night before, she went live for 2 hours, answering questions from her followers, talking about skincare routines and parenting hacks. She stayed up late editing clips, scheduling posts, responding to messages. When she walked into that conference room the next day, she was running on 3 hours of sleep and caffeine. The presentation was a disaster. She stumbled over slides, lost her train of thought. The client was unimpressed. Her boss pulled her aside afterward. The conversation was calm but firm. This couldn't continue. She needed to get her priorities straight. Sarah nodded, apologized, promised to do better. But that night, she went live again. At home, things were unraveling in a different way. Mark tried to be patient. He understood that she enjoyed what she was doing. He didn't want to be the kind of husband who told his wife what she could or couldn't do. But he also couldn't ignore what was happening. Dinners were interrupted. Bedtime routines were rushed. Conversations were cut short because she had to respond to a comment or check her analytics. One evening, he sat her down. He didn't yell. He didn't accuse. He just asked her to set some boundaries. Maybe no phones during family meals. Maybe no filming the kids without asking him first. Maybe just be here, with us, sometimes. She agreed. She meant it. But the next day, she filmed the kids eating breakfast and posted it. Mark saw it that afternoon. He didn't say anything. He just stared at the video for a long moment, then closed his phone. That's when he started pulling away. Not dramatically, not with anger, just quietly, like someone slowly letting go of a rope. If you're still watching, comment "I'm still watching" and tell us. Have you ever felt ignored by someone you love because they were glued to their phone? We'd love to hear your thoughts. 3 months later, Sarah lost her job. Her boss called her into the office on a Friday afternoon. The tone was professional but final. They appreciated her years of service, but her recent performance had been inconsistent. They were letting her go. She didn't fight it. Deep down, she knew it was coming. She walked out of that building with a box of her things and a severance check, and the first thing she did was post about it. She framed it as a new chapter, a chance to focus on her passion. Her followers flooded the comments with support. But support from strangers doesn't pay the mortgage. Mark didn't say much when she told him. He just nodded, asked if she had a plan. She said she'd figure it out. Maybe she could monetize her platform more, do sponsorships, build it into something real. He didn't argue, but his silence said everything. The arguments started small. Why was she still going live every night if money was tight? Why were the kids being filmed constantly? Why did it feel like he was raising them alone? She defended herself. This was her work now. She was building something. He didn't understand. He shot back. He understood perfectly. She was choosing an audience over her family. That stung. And instead of reflecting on it, she went live that night and talked about how hard it was to be misunderstood by the people closest to you. Her followers rallied around her, told her she was brave, told her to keep going, told her she deserved better. Mark saw the video. He didn't confront her. He just started sleeping in the guest room. 2 weeks later, he moved out. He didn't make a scene. He packed a bag, kissed the kids, and told them he'd see them soon. Sarah was live when he left. She didn't even notice the door close. The divorce papers arrived on a Thursday. Sarah wasn't surprised. She had seen it coming, even if she didn't want to admit it. What she didn't expect was what came next. Mark wasn't just filing for divorce. He was filing for full custody. She laughed when she first read it. Full custody? That was absurd. She was their mother. But Mark's lawyer had been thorough. They had compiled evidence. Screenshots of her social media. Videos where the kids were visible in the background, clearly trying to get her attention while she ignored them. Timestamps showing she was live during school events, during doctor's appointments, during moments she should have been present. They had records from the school. Teachers noting that Sarah had missed multiple parent-teacher conferences. Forms sent home and signed. Calls unreturned. And then there was the bigger issue. She had posted private moments. Family moments. Without consent. Mark had asked her repeatedly to stop. She hadn't. The court saw all of it. The judge was older, a woman with kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. She listened to both sides, reviewed the evidence, looked at Sarah for a long moment. Then she ruled. Primary custody to Mark. Supervised visitation for Sarah. No overnight stays until further review. The courtroom was silent. Sarah felt her chest tighten. She wanted to scream, to argue, to explain. But there was nothing to say. She had done this to herself. That same week, her former employer officially terminated her severance agreement. She had violated a clause by posting about the company online without approval. She lost the income, the credibility, the safety net. She went home that night to an empty house. The kids were with Mark. Her phone was still buzzing. Followers sending love, asking if she was okay, telling her to stay strong. But she had never felt more alone. 6 months later, Sarah's life looked very different. She had scaled back her social media. Not by choice, really. The algorithm had moved on. Her engagement dropped. Brands stopped reaching out. The attention she had chased so desperately had shifted to someone new. Someone younger. Someone fresher. She still posted occasionally. But it felt hollow now. The kids visited every other weekend, supervised by a court-appointed monitor. Jacob was polite but distant. Lily barely looked at her. They had adjusted to life with their dad. A life where dinner wasn't interrupted. Where bedtime meant stories, not cameras. Where they felt seen. Sarah had started therapy. It was court-mandated at first, but she kept going. Slowly, painfully, she began to understand what she had lost. It wasn't just the marriage. It wasn't just the job. It was presence, connection, the irreplaceable, unrepeatable moments that don't get second chances. She had been so desperate to be seen by the world that she became invisible to the people who mattered most. One evening, she sat alone in her apartment and scrolled through old videos. There she was, smiling, laughing, engaging with thousands of people. And in the background, barely visible, were her kids. Waiting, watching, hoping she'd look up. She never did. She closed the app, put the phone down, and for the first time in years, she sat in silence. It was uncomfortable, but it was real. And real, she was learning, was all that mattered. So here's the question. What would you have done differently? If you saw yourself slipping, would you have stopped? Would you have chosen differently? It's easy to judge from the outside. But how many of us are one notification away from the same mistakes? Where does your attention go when the people you love are right beside you? Think about it. And if this story made you feel something, subscribe. Because we don't just tell stories here. We tell the ones that make us think. The ones that stay with us. The ones that remind us what really matters. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.